Welcome back. This is Billy with Coach Dooley's List. And once again, if you're enjoying these coaching videos, please like and subscribe to the YouTube page and follow along on all of the social media platforms. Today, I have the wonderful pleasure of being here at Mountain View High School with good friend and new head football coach, Mr. Todd Welburn.
Thanks for having me today.
I am so excited about this.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
So listen, we'll jump right in, and I tell everybody, and this may take a while, but tell everybody about your coaching journey and how you ended up here where we are today.
Okay. Well, I had great high school football coaches growing up. We had Coach Faring, Coach Sherrill, Coach Sims, lots of other ones that I'm not mentioning there, but they poured into a lot of me to how to be a man and how to be a football player. And when I got into college, I was kind of not sure what I wanted to do, and then got nudged my senior year to go coach at Athens Academy, and coached there and went to the quarterfinals that year. And I'm like, well, this is fun. This is easy. And then my student teaching, I went to Collins Hill, where I actually went to high school, and my coaches got me coaching ninth grade football and helping with varsity. And we went to the semifinals into the Dome that year. And again, I was like, well, we just win. This is kind of what happens. And stayed at Collins Hill for 12 years. Made a lot of great friends. Coached baseball with you for 3 years, not having a clue what I was doing. I'm sure that's going to come up later.
Hopefully.
And then I went to Lanier with Billy Wells, Corey Mobbs, David Willingham. We went over there. They opened it up before me, and my move got blocked by the county, so I got over there a couple of years later. But my last couple of years with Coach Reach at Collins Hill were great. We had Taylor Heineke and that bunch that made a great run in the semifinals as well. And after Lanier, was 4 years there, did O-line and weight room, and heavily involved in run game stuff. And then went to Jackson County to be the offense coordinator with Brandon Worley. I spent a year there. Enjoyed the football side of things, and went to back to Collins Hill for 2 years under Lenny Gregory. So it was his first 2 years there. And Billy Wells was actually the principal at North Hall, and got me to come and teach AP classes and IB, which is International Baccalaureate. And
that's the super smart kids.
That was smarter kids than I've ever taught. And no offense to my former students, but it was a very different day. And then became the offensive coordinator in year 2, running a wing tee, and had a great time doing that. And then head coach resigned. David Bishop was his name, great man, and his parents were not in good health, and so he stepped away. And I knew that I wasn't going to be calling plays, and I was driving 45 minutes, so I decided to come and work at Mountain View, which is 5 minutes away. And this is year 4, and Coach Pointement took me in as the assistant head coach and running backs coach, and then became the defensive coordinator, and then now I'm the head coach in 2026.
It is crazy with how everything does go full circle, because we both went to Collins Hill. We both where we started. Mountain View was not here when we started, and I think both of our houses were in this district. You lived right down the street when you first started.
Zach and I live right at the intersection of Sunny Hill and Old Peachtree. Yeah, I pass that house a couple times a week. I come in. I'm living on the opposite side now, but yeah, right here.
Yeah, that's crazy. So, now. Okay, you've been with a lot of good coaches, and we've stayed in touch over the years, and you take a lot of things from everyone. So now, having all the stuff that you've taken, you've been here, you're going to get the program turned back around. What is it now you want your program here at Mountain View to be known for?
I want us to be a magnetic place. I know our head coach Alan Faring. He had a phrase when the coach's handbook that was be magnetic, not abrasive, and that doesn't mean that you don't get on the kids and you don't coach them hard, but you want to be, that kid knows that I care about him and I got his interest first. And sometimes I might have to get after him pretty good, but it's a thing where he knows that about me, and he welcomes that and responds the way that he should. And I want us to be a team that plays with passion. And when you see us on the field, we want to play violently, but we play for each other, and just want it to be a magnetic program that I want my kids to be a part of, involved in. And that's a magnetic program is what I'm talking about, basically.
And I love that. I've heard a lot of Coach Faring quotes. Obviously, I only played 1 year for him. If I could do anything different, I would have gone back and played more years for him.
Well, I probably wouldn't have played if he'd have done that. So thank you for your sacrifice.
Well, you were a guard, weren't you?
I was a tackle at the end. So
Well, I played center, so you'd have been good.
Found a way, probably.
Well, no, I was always. But no, the quote I always had, and I have this at the top of my stuff for coaches all the time, is that it was be proud of who you are and where you came from.
Yep.
And I always tell, because everybody, wherever you come from is what makes you who you are today. Like, you don't want to forget that just because you were at a rival school or anything like that. Going to kind of go in a different order than what I told you just because I want to leave more time for the stories. Yeah, I'd always ask head coaches, what advice would you give to a head coach? But instead of just asking you that, I was going to ask you, how long have you been a head coach now?
About a month and a half.
All right, month and a half. So in the last month and a half since you become the head coach, what things have you had to do that was not in your job description in your head? What were some things that have just gone on that you went, oh, wow, I've got to do that too?
I mean, really the embracing social media. So you have to do that because I've never been a big social media guy, but kids are, and kids want to feel like they're a part of something good. And that is the easiest way to change people's mindsets about what you're doing and those kind of things. And I was involved in it and I did it, but having access to the weight room every day and just taking little clips of our kids hitting a new max or working, we do some finishers that are pretty brutal. Learning to embrace the things that you might not feel strongly about before, and be a problem solver, because I think our world is short on problem solvers. And if I just said, well, I'm not good with technology, nobody's born. We don't come out of the womb knowing how to run a Google Doc or anything, set up a Google Doc.
I don't know if you've seen some 2-year-olds today with it.
They swipe when they're trying to read. Yeah, but it's a thing where if you're a problem solver, then nothing's going to be too overwhelming for you. You'll figure a way out to get that done. So be a problem solver and embrace things that might not be important to you that are important to others.
No, and I used to tell our coaches all the time, and embrace the chaos.
Yeah.
Like you can sit there and complain about the things that are crazy, or you can go, we're just going to make the best of it. And you know this too, running social media is a whole other job in and of itself.
Yeah.
Like, people think like, oh, that's cool. It must have taken 3 seconds to snapshot it and put it in, and that is not the case. Yep. So
there's a couple that are like that, and that's the ones that I like, because regular posting and that kind of thing, you have to do something every day, and it could take a little bit of time, but just the pressure to do it every single day is kind of the thing that I wasn't really expecting with it, but it's been fun.
Yeah, no, but it definitely makes a difference, like you said. Get your kids hyped up and all the things that you want to do. So now we hop into the stories,
okay.
And I might direct you in some of these. We've already discussed a little, but not the ones that we've talked about. But I always ask coaches, what's a story? Could be on the field, off the field, make you smile, laugh, cry, whatever. What's just one of your favorite coaching stories over the years?
Well, with a player, we had a great group of kids in the 2006. I think they graduated in 2006 bunch. We had kids that were just goofy, had fun, and just they made coaches uncomfortable with things that they were doing. So there's some things that Eddie Quinones might have said that I can't really repeat on this interview, but short, yeah.
I'm gonna cut you off because I do this and I've done it. I've only Coach Myhand has ever texted me and said, "Hey, I got the shout out," and I still have Myhand lunch. Okay. But if any of these people, including these guys, if one of them texts me and says, "Coach, hey, I heard my name on here, Eddie, I'll bring you lunch."
Okay.
All right. I haven't seen you in a long time, or maybe we can come eat it right here.
But when Billy Wells first got the job at Collins Hill, David Willingham was on staff with us, and he was in charge of the video. And this is not a great story for me, but I was helping in the first game. We played Parkview and we beat them pretty bad. We weren't expected to beat them, so it was a great, we made a great come up in the off season, and so we win big. Everybody's excited in the office, and you got everybody's waiting on the film, and I'm trying to help David, but it's not going well, and nothing's happening right, and so everybody's complaining about how long it's taking, but nobody's helping. And so I'm just fuming because I'm trying to help, but it's not working, and I don't know why it's not working. And so
is this VHS days?
I think it was DVDs. It was DVDs.
Okay, DVDs. Okay.
And so that makes it sound really old. And so then Larry Massey's over there. He's like, well, I could have gone to dinner and been back by now. And I'm like, that's it. And I stand up and I say a bunch of things I shouldn't have said to a group of grown men. And I just storm out of the office. I'm going home and y'all can figure it out. And so I leave and I get to the front door of the Collinsville Fieldhouse. And I realize that I don't have my keys. And so I thought long and hard about what I needed to do. If I needed to just sleep in my truck that night, or if I was going to go back in the office and face those guys and get my keys. So I went back and got my keys, and I pretended I didn't hear them laughing at me when I walked back out the door after getting my truck keys. But yeah, that was a good one. And I know you got some lead-ins for some other ones that were.
Oh, that one's pretty good. But and I always tell young coaches this too. What made Collins Hill so special back when we were there, and I know it's still a good place, but I know Coach Swick and all those guys, but like when we were there, we had a lot of young guys that had a lot of fun, and we were able to cut up. You're able to do things like that, and then still show your face the next day because you had people that loved each other, and it was just always something. And I'll tell one. So I was actually at Parkview last week and ran into one of your old mentors. You have to know, you used to go to the Civil War stuff with him all the time.
Oh, Aldridge.
So Aldridge, yeah. Okay. So my ninth grade coach, and he knows I'm there, and he sees me in the hallway, so he comes into the room and literally walks up to me and, like this, and I go, "What are you doing?" He goes, "You know what I'm doing." So then I go into his room, and I ask, there's a girl in there. He's working with kids after school, and he farts, and I go, "Does he do this all the time?" She goes, "Yes." Same. And listen, just real, but it was not saying that's what we did all the time, but it was fun. And so we did some things obviously to, poke fun at each other and stuff. And so tell us the story. Which one do you want to go first? The Screaming Eagle or your first baseball?
Screaming Eagle's fine.
We'll go first. So here's the quick version of how I remember it. We're sitting at a table. You were coaching baseball. We're sitting at a lunch table. Me, you, Tiller, Pierce, and a lot of other coaches. And you come up and you're upset because you had gotten an email, I think, about some playing time.
Yeah.
And you left. Tiller starts grinning. We go back to his room. We send you an anonymous email from a fake Yahoo account that we just started called Screaming Eagle at yahoo.com.
97 or something like that.
Yes. And we send this email, and I go to class for a couple of periods. I come back and check my email. You couldn't carry your computer around back then. And I now see a email from our head coach, one of my best friends, Paul Pierce, who has emailed the entire booster club, meaning every parent, and saying, we're not going to do this, these anonymous emails.
And calling them cowards and everything.
Oh, yes. Paul, I apologize. So I want your version of it. I know we haven't talked about this in years.
I'm 23 or 24, and I never played baseball. Pierce worked with me. He's like, you work hard. I want you to be on my baseball staff. I'm like, okay. And at that time, a $1,500 stipend was
legit. And I'm a first year coach, by the way. You're in year 2 or 3, I think.
2 or 3, and so I'm a little older than that than I said then. But so I get a legit email from somebody about playing time. They didn't say that they knew I'd never played. They were just questioning playing time, which that part was fine. And I'm kind of like, but how should I respond to this? And I go to the lunch table to ask Pierce, and then I get the next one, and it's, we know you never played and you don't know what you're doing, which was right. And I'd bunt with 2 strikes. I would do all this stuff, and we were winning because we had very talented players. And they're sitting behind me at one game, and I'm like, I'm winning. Y'all just need to leave. Just get out. And they're like, okay, that's fine. And so I get the second anonymous email, and I'm just all-time low. And I'm not thinking I'm going to quit or anything, but I'm like, this is terrible. Like we're winning games, and we got parents complaining about this. And then Pierce says it, and Dooley's in the office of our field house, and he's like, I just don't know who's sending this. And Billy's like, it was me, and just said it real low. And Pierce was like, what? And then figured it out, and he's like, you think I got time to deal with this? And I was kind of like, okay, I feel a lot better about things now. But it was a bad day until until you came clean.
Well, and that one too. So the crazy thing when that happened, I had just been hired on, like I'd been a parapro, and I was only teaching 3 periods. And I'll never forget the tongue lashing I got. He said, he goes, it's nothing else. You're getting paid full time, and you're only teaching 3 classes.
You're making up anonymous emails.
And you're creating all this extra work for me. But that's where two things out of that situation I'll never forget. One was, Pierce was one, like, I got my lashing, that was it.
Yeah.
It was done.
Yeah.
But I apologized to him every day for the next week. And finally he was like, will you please just let it go? Like, he's like, yeah.
It was a good prank, though. It was a good prank.
It was great.
Good. That was a culture of Collins. It was just pranking each other.
All the time. Yeah. We're going to get everybody together. And we're just going to tell prank stories. But the other thing, this goes back to you. And I've always remembered this in coaching. You didn't know anything about baseball.
No.
But you were good with kids and you worked hard. And especially when we're losing coaches left and right. Now, you obviously can't make somebody your defensive coordinator who, you can't make me your defensive coordinator. Okay, you don't want that.
Yeah.
It's whatever. It was on Tecmo Bowl. I didn't even play Madden, just Tecmo Bowl. So I've always remembered that because I've, being a softball, and coaching baseball and stuff, you got to bring people in who are good with kids. You can give them other duties.
Yeah. Can you trust them?
Yes.
Can you trust them?
Yes, to do the things that you ask them to do. All right, so next one, okay, your first. So again, we recruited you to coach baseball.
Yeah.
And we go over, and I was not there. I was so upset when I heard the story that I was not present for it.
League?
But y'all go. It's the Parkview Shootout. You go over to Parkview. It's Coach Buchanan's last summer running it, I think, and it's Summer League game. Go.
Yeah, so that was Summer League when I'd never done anything. He's like, we'll just come to the tournament and just watch what we do. And so I go and it's a Summer League game, so it's pretty informal, but I don't know pregame warm-up procedures. I don't know anything. And so our catcher, Magano, is that
Justin Magano, yes.
Magano, yeah. It was
Pagano, yeah.
Pagano, yes.
yeah.
And so he's like, well, Coach, you got to hit infield to us because Pierce is talking to Coach Buchanan, who had just won a state championship like 2 weeks before that.
Mm-hmm.
Pierce's first year on the job. And so I'm like, okay. And I grab a bucket because I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. And I look at Pagano. I'm like, what do I do? He's like, well, you hit it to the left fielder. I'm like, okay. I'd never taken, fungo bat swings or anything. I got a regular bat and I swing and miss. I'm like, that's
now, where were you standing first off?
In the infield,
okay.
Like not at the home plate. Yes,
that has to be established.
I forgot how bad it was. It gets worse. It gets worse the further I get away. And so then I pick it up and I'm like, okay, and I throw it and swing and I miss again. And Pierce tells me that while that's happening, he like gets in between me and Buck and starts like making him not be able to see what's happening. And so then finally the third one, I swing and miss again. So I struck myself out, hitting infield warm up. And and so Pierce finally scrambled over there and took over. And he's like, we're not even supposed to do this in Summer League anyways. And I was like, okay, good. And so I watch what he does. And then the next time we're hosting a Summer League tournament a week later, same thing happens. Pagano's like, Coach, we got to do infield. And I secretly had practiced on my own time. Nobody knew. And I got a little bit better at it. So we get out there and I throw the first one up and I swing and miss. And I'm on the infield again. I didn't really know that part. And then I'm gritting my teeth and talking to my teeth as I missed that one. And I pick it up and I throw it and I hit it over the fence. And so I just put my hands up and said, everybody back in the dugout. So we got everybody in the dugout and we won. It was we won both of them. It was a great day.
And nobody ever won a game in pregame. But if you got them loose, then and make them have fun. That's all that matters. Then the last one again, we can do this. This one will be a lot quicker. We would always go out before the season and work on the mound. And we're getting the mound ready, and we got to measure it. Every foot goes down an inch, and so we're measuring all the stuff. But you also have to make sure it's firm. Now, for those of you that don't know, Coach Welborn is left-handed, and we typically didn't carry catcher's mitts, so we're left-handed.
Not left-handed catcher's mitts.
So I get on the mound, and it's January, it's freezing outside, and so Coach Welborn has on a catcher's mitt. Wrong-handed. And we get on, I throw like 2 pitches, it's firm, we're good. Well, then I give him one of these. That's universal in the baseball world, for those that don't know, for a curveball. Well, I give him this, and he's caught the first 2. He's down there good. Well, I throw a curveball, His glove never moves. I think it hit you in the shin.
Right in the shin.
Right in the shin,
Right in the
bounce
shin.
up, and he is bouncing up and down. He goes, "What was that?"
Never seen a curveball. He's like, I told you it was coming. Like, you didn't say anything. That's what this means.
You were
So,
just
valuable lesson, though. You can't assume that your players know what you're talking about. You got to break it down so that they know everything you said.
That
poor coaching
lesson
on your part.
has come up more in these interviews. Never assume. Yes, and there's been some great never assume stories.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. We are coming back. We're going to do it. We're going to do a crew roundtable at some point in time. So now a little fun stuff, just rapid fire, no context, just answers good. So now, Gay, or actually first, if somebody was coming to town, they said, "Hey, I'm coming to Mountain View watching a game. I'm going to bring my wife with me. I want to go out to eat. What's the best place around town to go eat?"
Best place around town. We have City Lines right down the road,
Okay.
and they do a good job with our senior dinners and things like that. And I'm hoping they'll continue to do that. We've got my kids and wife, like for a just regular evening out, we'll go to Taco Mac a lot, and that's kind of the go-to close to the Mall of Georgia. You got pizza. You got Antonetta's right there.
Okay.
And we don't eat there much, but they're our neighbors, and we get their pizza a good bit. But that's trying to think of our other.
Oh, that's plenty.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll have some more sponsors. Hopefully, I can talk about next time we do this. Yeah.
There you go. All right. So, do you have a pregame hype song? And if you don't now, what was it in high school?
In high school, oh man, it was Rage Against the Machine. That was what it was in high school, and it still is now. If I've got my noise canceling headphones on, it's going to be, and I'm working out, it's Rage Against the Machine still.
There you go. Yeah. That one to get you fired up.
Yeah.
Came on the other day with my kids in the car. I had to quickly,
had to
quickly change it. All right. So who, and this is, I know this is going to be your first year as head coach, but I know you've been in Lord knows how many games over 20 something years. Who's the best coach you've ever coached against, or just that you've just always loved competing against because you know you were going to just get an awesome game out of them?
When the early to middle part of my career, when we played Roswell, like I hated Roswell, and we had our players. We made our players hate Roswell, and it turned into a bit like. We played in the playoffs, I think, 3 times when I was working at Collins Hill, and I think we ended up coming out on top 2 times and lost once. But that was a big time rivalry that I kind of had to calm myself down about. It was I think his name was Gary Varner. I never really got to talk to him much. And then,
he went to Alatoona later, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. And then John Ford was one of the guys. Like I know who he is because he was the head coach of Beaufort. He probably didn't know who I was at the time, but we got like shouting match pregame one time, and that was what it was. I mean, sure, off the field it'd be fine, but when that was happening, it was like, I hate this school so much, and they were so good with little things that we didn't recognize on film, but when you play them, it's like, man, they're quick snapping us to death, they're cut blocking us so good, and so those are things that it made me a better coach competing against them.
Yeah,
and obviously, there's a lot of great coaches out there that I've faced, but that was the one that we probably played them like 5 times in 4 seasons or 6 times in 4 seasons. So
those what I call playoff rivalries. So they're not your region, they're not the one down the street, but you just end up matching up with them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is your, and this may change next year, but what is your pregame ritual?
Pregame ritual, it has changed here because I've had to do a lot of the sideline setup, but for a long time it would be. I would take like a 2 or 3 mile run, just kind of get myself sweating, get myself to the heart rate's up, so that's going to calm down a little bit more later. Then I would always like, even if it was 5 minutes before the bus was leaving, I would hop in the shower, and that was one thing that the Collins Hill guys would always make fun of me about. And not that they were like watching me go in there, but they're kind of like, Todd, you got to get this done, man. And I would like to kind of get into that where I can get a little stress relief before, but the last few years we've just had sidelines set up, and it's a lot more complicated to set up a sideline than it used to be. And half the time it doesn't work, so you just want to throw things at the TV after a while.
There's a lot of wires and stuff nowadays.
Yeah.
Who is the best player you've ever coached against? Just one. I know being in Gwinnett, you've got time against.
I have a no doubt answer, and there's probably been guys that have had more NFL success, but Jamie Skalski was an inside linebacker at Northgate. And when we had Derek Brown at Lanier, Skalski was playing. We played him in the playoffs, and he ended up playing at Clemson. He was a really good player at Clemson. But when you saw him, it was kind of like, I mean, he's kind of a big kid, and is he going to be film-wise sometimes? And we were like, he's good, but is he Clemson good? And that kid, we had schemes just to block him, and they had schemes to protect him from being blocked. And he probably had close to 20 tackles. He kicked kickoffs like almost through the uprights, if not through the uprights, had a 40-something yard punting average, and he rushed the ball, I don't know how many times, for like 85 yards. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. And it was maddening because we felt like we had a overall better team makeup, but they kept the ball away from us, and he kept us from, getting explosive plays. And he was really, really good. I've coached against a lot of good ones, but that one was one where just his stats was kind of like, I never seen anything like that before.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
On every phase.
Yes.
Yeah.
All
that's
three
cool.
phases. Yep.
Who should I interview next? Could be here at this school, could be another, could be a part of the crew. Who's somebody who would be entertaining and just have a good word for other coaches?
Have you done an interview with Willingham? He's not a head coach, but
we can still do that. I have not yet, and I do need to get over to the Empire.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Willingham, if you see this, you'll be getting a text soon.
I know you've had one with Corey Pierce, but Willingham, I think, would be he's a lively guy that's got stories that he can't tell about me, and stories that he can tell about me and himself. So yeah, he'd be.
Need a private YouTube channel. So, Willie. D. Willie Math, I think is
my hand too. Yeah, my hand would be. He'd be one that would, if you have a cutout of Renee Zellweger right in the middle, that would be a good thing too.
I'll be calling you as well. I do owe you lunch, so
if you know, you know.
Yeah, that is true. So, and last question I always ask, the whole reason I do these interviews is just let people know I actually do have a website that's meant to try to help coaches out. So. I always ask, who is a vendor, just one that you work with, that you just love to work with, that you would refer to other coaches?
Well, this is shameless, but my wife is a approved Gwinnett County vendor. She does screen printing and embroidery, and
I got to get her at it.
I got the all the stuff that I've gotten in here has been stuff that she has made for me, and she cuts out vinyl lettering for our workout gear, so I can put a number. And her business is called So Little Time. So that's a shameless plug for my wife's business there.
Hey,
approved Gwinnett County vendor. Just letting you know.
No, that's awesome, and the name is perfect too, because coaches always ask at the last minute they can possibly do it.
Now, if you ask at the last minute, there's a rush fee, but
they got to
get it done. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Well, listen, man, I wish you nothing but the best of luck. I'm going to come back. We're going to talk again. If I can ever do anything for you, let me know.
All right, appreciate it. It was fun.
You're the man.